Anyone can check fast style. You talk about Philip by the teacher and fast style. That's a load of bollocks. Anyone can check fast style. You don't need no A levels. Sure.
The sound is warming up to the earlier time, you know? Hey, man, let's up and play.
One in a million.
King.
She's one in a million. Still I've got to hold on strong.
Hey,
Girl is a scorcher.
it's warming up to the earlier time. I want you to know that.
Oh Lord, this girl is a scorcher. Oh yeah, she have me rushing her faster. Oh yeah, for in my weakness and in my strong.
Tell them.
She's the one I have to call upon.
Blast it.
1960s, Kingston, Jamaica. A sound system would be blaring its sound to the crowd from a local rum bar. The melodies, the bass, the vibes is felt by the people. The selector, this man, in order to display his excellence, will not only wear a crown on his head, but the man will be loaded with a 45 on his right side and a shotgun on his left. And if the crowd was wild and the rude boys were acting leery, he'll fire shots in the air to show them he's no joke. His name was Arthur Duke Reid, with his sound system named the Trojan, one of the 3 big players in Jamaica's champion sound. And this is where we begin the journey of our UK-based culture. British sound system was still in its infancy. As we know, the first British sound system set up was by Duke Vin, who operated under Tom Wong's The Great Sebastian back in Jamaica. During the 50s and 60s in the UK was tough, as race relations were at a low. This included not allowing anyone of colour entering the clubs, which resulted in Duke Vin putting on house blues parties. The bass of these sound systems would shake up the house. By the 70s, roots reggae was finally big in Britain, thus introducing legendary Jamaican reggae artists such as Dennis Brown, Peter Tosh and the legendary Bob Marley. Before this, the UK had an influx of ska and rocksteady music from Jamaica, being big with British working class skinheads and British Caribbean youth in the 60s. During this time, more legendary British sound systems started to establish themselves in Britain, such as Count Shelley's sound system, Sir Coxsone International run by Lord Coxsone, Jah Shaka, and many more. Back in Jamaica, sound systems were now part of Jamaican working class culture. In the 50s, they were set up playing R&B from America. However, the music evolved into ska, rocksteady and reggae. The music truly was theirs, and there was a real sense of pride that came with it.
People used to make money from it. You sell your own beer, and you sell your own curry goat and rice, and you got the sounding system from 8 o'clock till like 6 in the morning, and they eating and dancing in the street. You get like 2,000-3,000 people, and you make a buck.
It was good business for the soundmen, and when money gets involved, the demand for loyalty, respect, and competition rises. Bigger crowds mean more money, therefore you need the best music.
But why you are there cutting cane? If you buy rhythm and blues, 6 times more money you get because you're going to sell it back to the sound system people. So everybody anxious to go to the farmer but not for cut cane. They want to go buy some record, you know?
This competition went on further on. During the 50s and 60s, there were several sound systems in Jamaica, such as King Edward's sound system. However, in Kingston, there were 2 top players in the game. Duke Arthur Reid's The Trojan sound system, and Clement Coxsone Dodd and his downbeat sound system. Competition between these 2 was fierce. They were well known in Kingston and were running the music scene, to the point where they were recording and playing Jamaican music exclusively for themselves and their sound systems. They became record producers and entrepreneurs, thus gaining the recognition in Jamaican musical history. They would set up sounds near each other and naturally draw the biggest crowds. Thus, competition between these 2 sound systems created supporters, fans if you will, and just like football fans, they will cause some slight problems. This is what affected Coxon's crowd, as the dancing public would have been vulnerable to physical attacks of the Duke Reid supporters and vice versa. Little things would have been done to sabotage the other dancers, such as in 1957's clash at Forest Hall. Prince Buster would have managed to break Duke Reid's stylists and fend off Duke's former gang rivals, and soundmen attacking Coxon's men. But it was not always in violence. They would infiltrate each other's dance to see what records they were exclusively playing, to see what to outplay and such. Rum was a smart way of sabotaging competition. If the party crowds came in early to a dance, they were more than likely to move on. So therefore, serving strong alcohol would have people turn up to the other dance more rude, wild and reckless, stopping the dance overall.
Jamaican rum has regained its place among the great drinks of the world.
Duke Reid had a rum there where it don't sell in the stores. If you think rum strong, you ask about rude to your parents. When you throw water, you know what happening? Smoke, vapors thing, right? And that is what the brother might drink. Like they have cocaine now, that was for them cocaine. So after Duke Reid, give them 2 drinks of rude to your parents and send them go to and dance. The dance done. People are jump fence to get out the fast.
This form of sound system rivalry are foundations of what is known as sound system clashes. As the sound systems became more powerful, so did the music. In the late 60s, a sound system operator named Rudy Redwood went to Duke Reid's studio to cut a dub plate of the Paragons' hit On the Beach. Byron Smith accidentally forgot to add the vocals, and what you had as a result was an instrumental, also known as a version. This would have get positive reaction from the crowd at his dance, as it allowed people to sing over the instrumental and allow his partner toast over the rhythm, being big in Spanish Town. A witness to this was Lee Scratch Perry. He told this to a friend of his, a sound system operator and electrical engineer master who had a workshop, someone who would voice artists and cut dubs. Him and Lee Scratch Perry was cutting a dub and removed the vocals in the mix. They would play the instrumental themselves. His name was Osborne Ruddock, also known as King Tubby. King Tubby was able to interchange vocals and the instrumental on a specific mixer Tubby had. Not only that, he noticed that various instrumental sounds could be reworked, accentuated and emphasized through the mixer levels. So this is how it goes. Using the drum beats such as steppers, adding vocals, adding brass instruments, the organ riff rhythm, and the effects such as by filtering echoes, reverbs, and the high pass filter to the sounds. And also adding the bass. His mixing desk was his instrument, and this gave us the genre known as dub music. Dub music was the next biggest sound in Jamaica. Thus sound systems wanted them B-side tracks. This was pushing the technology onto reggae music further. Tubby's studio became the go-to place to get the track reversioned. This gave us big names besides King Tubby, such as Lee Scratch Perry and Errol Thompson. Each engineer was different as they had their own unique sounds, techniques when dubbing. This brought the engineer from behind the scenes now to the front and was the start of the remix culture as we know it today. As we know, reggae music uses the bass line as the melody. This was felt through sound systems. So when dub music emerged, the bass sound could be emphasized, thus pumping the crowds in the dance. this Jamaican influence would become musically important to our UK sound. Reggae music was still pushing strong in the 80s here in the UK and has left its mark on us, thus having more reggae artists performing onto commercial channels.
See me in my heels and ting, them checks say we hip and ting,
allowing the emergence of many more British reggae artists. However, we can't forget about Bob Marley.
Pop no style, I strictly roots.
In the early hours of this morning, that's British time, the body of Bob Marley was laid to rest in a mausoleum in his birthplace, St Anne's, in the north of Jamaica.
No sun will shine in my day today.
Bob Marley's death was truly felt by the people of Jamaica, the UK and the rest of the world. Many were genuinely impacted by his passing. Besides performing here in the UK, he had a deep connection in London. During the Notting Hill riots, Marley helped form an alliance of young Rastas and punks which resulted in recording of Punky Reggae Party. His major hit, One Love, was signed here by Island Records. He lived in several apartments and houses in London. He even gained refuge here after his assassination attempt being shot in Jamaica. Him, the Wailers and other friends would cross Albert Bridge and head to Battersea Park to play some football. Marley even got clocked and fined for cannabis possession here, just like many others. Bob Marley considered London his second home. His music, his wisdom and personality impacted so many, including people today. He sang truth, what he lived for, and what he believed in. Not only just Bob Marley, but many reggae artists came through the UK on their musical journey, and thus we are thankful.
You make a believer out of me, because I know everything's gonna be alright.
And you know as well as I do, that in 1980, when Dennis rolled back from Shashamani land, he went straight into the studios in London with Aswad. That spiritual pilgrimage that Dennis Brown made to Shashamani land, the land reserved for Rastafarians by His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords.
Set a eye! Set a eye, set a eye!
Sound systems formed an integral part in Black British culture. In the 80s, the number of sound systems grew. Legendary UK sound systems such as Jar Shaka and Sir Coxsone International from the 60s and many others were still going strong. The change in technology also meant new sound effects being brought into the scene, including dub sirens, which to this day are iconic in representing dub sound systems. But just like Jamaica, there was a need in proving who was the UK's champion sound. Within any sound system collective, you will need to have a solid crew. And to get into this crew, this would have meant to serve an apprenticeship. An apprenticeship to get into specialised roles. That means starting from the bottom. Box boys, as some were sometimes called, would have done majority of the physical aspects such as carrying the amplifiers, turntables, mixer, the records, and most importantly, the heavy speaker boxes. There was a main man who deals with the bookings and collects the money, sometimes known as the manager. A technician whose role was fixing up the amps and maintaining the electrical components of the sound systems. This can also be the operator as well, who also controlled the bass and treble on mixers, thus making the sound clear and not distorted with enough bass but not to bust up the speakers. You have the MCs, rooted from the Jamaican influences of toasting. The mic man, or the mic woman, was the one who spoke to the crowd, who was the crowd controller, who introduces the tracks and hype up the crowds. Then you had the selector, the one who would scout the crowds, choose the right records for the DJ to play. However, these days the selector can now be the DJ. The DJs, to work hard and to provide the steady supply of fresh music growing their record collection. This music collection will distinguish you as a DJ, establish your crew's reputation and the way it was presented. DJs would have had to be quick onto the record stores to cop exclusives, willing to trade valuables for records, travel not only all over the UK, but as far as Jamaica for a record. Just pure and real dedication. Exclusivity was the key, and therefore would lead the sound system status and respect. The rise of dancehall music such as Buru Banton, Tenasaur, Yellowman, and many more saw changes in music, which meant the change in the clash, as this introduced more live vocalists, MCs, and more dubplates. Following the aspect of exclusivity, the dubplates were test presses of unreleased records. This was a way for artists to give their plates to the DJs of the sound systems and test it to the crowds. Furthermore, you had specials, the ultimate status symbol, an exclusive to show respect to a specific sound system crew or for an event. The more credible the artist was, the more respect and status the sound system will receive. With the status becoming more important in the UK sound system culture, so did competition on who was the UK's champion sound. There were sound systems from all over the UK representing their city and borough, such as Manchester's Megatone sound system, Birmingham's Sifa High Power and Goodwill sound system, Coventry's Maccabee sound system, Saxon Studio International sound system in Lewisham, London, and many more sound systems were established all around the UK, such as Bristol, Derby, Leeds, and many others.
Make a step down to Asmara, then we stopped in Addis Ababa, made our way to Shashamaniland, riding on the King.
You need to keep in mind that these British sound systems were representing their boroughs to the fullest. Serious. For example, Saxon Studio International was not just any South London sound system, it was a Lewisham sound system. Young Lion Sound was not just any Wandsworth sound system, but it was a Battersea sound system. Sound system culture was territorial, and to be the best in your area, you need to be the champion sound. But in order to become the champion sound, a clash would need to take place. Okay, so this is how it works. In the early days, either 2, 3 or 4 sound system crews or whatever the number, depending on the size of the venue, would string up. Each sound system would represent themselves by how many speaker boxes they had, what it looked like, the clarity, and how powerful it was. The loudness and trust, the strength of some of these sound systems were enough to make your nose itch and your insides shake. The main weapon was the music up against the other selectors. Like they said, they will kill them other sound systems. You needed to prove that you had more exclusives than your competitors. Dub plates were essential during a clash, as it would be bigging up the name of the sound system and DJs. The MCs would have been needed to amp up the crowds. But with the best exclusive tunes, lyrics of the dubplate specials or exclusives would change in accordance to the event, such as powering the other sound systems or DJs. If the tune or dub is too much, the crowd will go wild, either by roaring, throwing gun fingers in the air, banging on the walls, known as liquid, in which the DJ will wheel up, rewind the record. Originally, gunshots meant a forward, move on to the next track. However, nowadays forwards can also mean reloads. All this together, the hype, the music, the dubs, all of it allows the crowd to make the decision on the sound system champion. Many musicians had their careers started from sound systems, as it opened up more opportunities within music, either by them entering within the mainstream or becoming iconic artists within British underground genres. Sound systems show nothing but love and respect to each other, but when it comes to a clash, everyone wants to be the best. Sound clashes have become an integral part of Black British culture and had the first ever annual Reggae World Clash in Edmonton, North London back in '93.
And in the news headlines tonight, the first ever World Sound Cup clash reaches fever pitch as thousands of die-hard reggae fans descend in droves into the Roller Express in Edmonton. Inside the venue, the atmosphere is electric as Bodyguard, Coxsone, Saxon and Afrique battle it out for the most sound system history. Do stay with us because we'll be crossing over for a live report on the clash a little later on in the evening.
I want to big up all English youth. And so now here's Saxon anthem going out to all British residents and citizens. Watch us out, friends.
Hey, hey, you, oh, oh. Saxon, make your back so
And since then has taken place all over the world. Even Red Bull hosted sound clash events called the Red Bull Culture Clash, bringing different UK genres and crews together and battle it out, such as Rebel Sound bringing the jungle drum and bass, the UKG crews, the grime crews, in order to win and become the champion sound.
Rebel sound killing BBK. Rebel sound killing ASAP Mob. Rebel sound killing Stone Love. Rebel sound killing everyone.
Rebel sound in the place. Hey, Rico! Buckle on the strong boy. A long time to be a black music. Remember me tell you that. BBK them up, you run well. They get stuck in and keep that on them. 45 we run them. Hold up! Somebody scream! Bomber Club! Next song! Next song!
It's a whole new generation that gets to understand the culture of clashing with respect.
Sir David Rodigan, he has competed in many clashes as well. What makes him so powerful is that he has dub plates recorded from many years of many of Jamaica's greatest artists, whom some are not with us anymore. So therefore, he is dangerous in competing with on a clash.
Oh, I know Rodigan don't come to throw bottles or stones, fire gun or throw bombs in this time.
Jamaica!
Let them talk, keep them talking. Hey, Rodigan gonna keep them talking. Laugh when they're talking. Rodigan play non-stop.
Buster, no sound, complete this, no sound. Hey!
This is Prince Buster, the voice of the people. Pick him up, you lick him down, you bounce right up. You want to contest David Rodigan?
Juba! Hey!
Sound boy, won't you go home to your nana, go home.
Thank you, Jamaica.
Wanna summon David Rodigan?
I truly recommend watching his Reggae Fever documentary, as it truly goes in depth on his musical journey and the personal stories with artists within that era. Within popular culture, the cult British movie classic Babylon portrays the life of young British Jamaicans living in South London during the Thatcher era. dealing with the issues they had to deal with, such as police, racism, and conflict with rival sound systems.
Shaka rule! Yeah. Shaka rule! Sunday we see you rule.
The characters are portrayed by well-known British reggae dub musicians such as Brinsley Ford from the band Aswad, Beefy, played by Trevor Laird,
Lion!
Josh Shaka,
I'm keeping them up. Get together after.
amazing music from Dennis Bavell, and many others. As of 2019, the Babylon movie has now been allowed to be viewed in the United States, as before it was considered too controversial and likely to incite racial tension, therefore never allowed to be released.
You fuck off back to your own country, you jungle bunny, and you!
This is my fucking country, lady!
This movie was one reason for the inspiration of Idris Elba's movie Yardie, based on the novel by Victor Headley, which portrays 1980s Hackney, East London, and referencing sound system culture.
Warrior Charge Aswad, as picked by Idris Elba.
Like I said to you earlier, I took my inspiration from Babylon, the film.
Yeah.
And do me a favour, look up who directed Babylon. He's actually an Italian director.
Oh, is he?
He's incredible.
Yeah. And
he also did that actual box, the little sound effect
the dub
box.
siren, yeah, which is stuff like this.
Yeah.
Stuff so. There you go.
Like that.
Yeah.
He took that and would add things as transitional moments in scenes.
Yeah.
And it just adds to the experience of, wow, this is a war right now. You're hearing the wars going on in the background.
Definitely.
The Babylon movie gives you a small glimpse into our British sound system culture of the times, and I truly recommend giving it a watch.
Babylon, Babylon, Babylon.
Please also support and check out Don Sinclair's Reggae Vibes and Saffron YouTube channels.
Sovereign, come I am final.
You know me style. Right at the 13th. Back up. Back up. Chop it.
The channels publish real footage of British sound system culture from the 70s to current times, and takes you back through musical history, which I do recommend giving them a view. And with that, the Jamaican sound system culture will continue on influencing our British underground bass culture through the 80s, through the 90s, and onwards till this day.
But, you know, what Vin has just manifested is what life is all about. We live and we travel on to that beautiful place of rest. There is no other way of describing the man. The first man to build a sound system here in England. The first man to encounter the attitude and behavior of a police in relation to him playing his music. All you young DJs out there now playing your music and, you know, bigging up yourself, yeah, it's nice to do that. But you must pay respect to the foundation. Without the foundation, there wouldn't be you. And right now, many of you are building your house on a sandy foundation. Won't work. Find the rock and stay firm. Peace, love, honor, respect to you beautiful people. And remember, preach it. One love.
Next up on part 3 of episode 5, we will finally look into how the Jamaican sound influenced our underground music scene, rooting off UK garage, the pioneers of the scene, and how a sound became big all over the world. The sound of dubstep.
Badaya, Bawala die, guan. Walk and skank, me say walk and skank, yes sir. Walk and skank, me say walk and skank, guan. Walk and skank, me say walk and skank. You go out of the street, you fi walk and skank. You go out of the street, you fi walk and skank. You come in at the dance, you fi walk and skank. One in your pocket and one by your side. A hand in your pocket and one by your side. You walk with a limp or you walk with a stride. You walk with a limp or you walk with a stride. Say mine you don't slipper, say mine you don't slide. Say mine you don't slipper, me say mine you don't slide. Cause if you do that, you will broke your backside. Say if you do that, you will broke your backside. Cause some of them a walk and they do it with a glide. Walk and skank, me say walk and skank. Walk and skank, me say walk and skank. The long time style that used to go back. The 84 style, you know I walk and skank. The downtown posse them a walk and skank. And the uptown posse them a walk and skank. They come in at the dance and you duck and skank. One hand in your pocket and one by your side. Hand in your pocket and a hand by your side. The side of the street, he said that me a top rank. Around the microphone, you know me don't rock. So when me get me money, say me put it in a bank. Me the old time style, you know I gully bank. But the 84 style, you know I walk and skank one. Walk and skank, me say walk and skank one. Walk and skank, me say walk and skank. Walk and skank, me say walk and skank.
Peace to the eye, Rastafari.
Down there, me the one live a Satan life. Down there, me the one live a Babylon way. Down there, me the one follow politician life. Down there, cause them have corrupted minds. Down there, down there, down there. People them a thief and a rob. Down there, I take another man's life way. Down there. I shoot and I stab by one another down there. Pure one among them I preach down there. Down there. Up there. Me want go a session and go skank up there. Me want go a session listen some man a play. I listen Rastafari music a play. With a natural mystic flowing through the air. I listen heavyweight sound system a play. Shaka, Jatobi, Sir Cox and a player. And them sound system did a lead the way. Back in the 70s, 80s, them a play. Them a open up the gates from sound man fi play. Play nowadays, many sound man a play. Sound man a play. Sound man a play. Sound man a play. Nowadays, Abashanti, Channel 1, them a play. Iration, Step a King Earthquake a play. Word, sound and power, Amakaya, them a play. Freedom, a yabbies them a play. Chop, 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 chop,